Alright guys, welcome back. Okay, so in this part of the video, there's quite a lot that we're gonna need to do. The user is gonna insert an email here. When they click submit, it's gonna process the email, and then it's gonna basically proceed towards resetting the user's password, and then it's gonna send an email. We're gonna use Mailtrap for that, and then the user is gonna click on a link which will send them to a route where it will allow them to change their password. So there's quite a lot that we're gonna do. I'll explain as we get to each part. So for now, I just want to come now into the application and start working with that. So I'm first gonna stop the server from running. Then I'm gonna yeah. So let's go here within the forgot password controller. So we can do model and view. Actually, you know what? Let's do model and view. This is gonna be obviously a post method, a post mapping, and it's obviously gonna go to the same link. The action is gonna be the same link. All right. So now we're gonna say public. And then all right. So what we're gonna need to get here is mainly the email. So let's do that. You know what? Let's do this. I'm just gonna add this here at the top, and then here just gonna say this dot page equals to let's say return. Let's just return this for now. Alright, so there's a couple of things that we need to do in here, right? We're gonna make a simple validation here. We're not gonna do a class for that because we're not really validating what you call it. We're not really gonna validate the email, because when a user sets an email in here, we don't want to let whoever is putting in the email here know that they inserted the correct email, because any malicious user can put in an email here, and if we notify them that the email is wrong or whatnot, it's just gonna create a breach within the system. But so for now, all I'll do is I'll do a simple validation, right? And then actually no, let me just say alright. So in here we're gonna need a method that's gonna help us reset the user's password. So we need to go within our user repository for that. So I'm gonna close this folder here. So I'm gonna come in here, and then we're basically gonna do an update. I'm just gonna come up here where we have all the other updates. What did I call this? obviously it's gonna have the other two. Alright, so we need a couple of things within here. So let me type it out and then I'll explain. Alright, so these are the parameters that we're gonna need. So we're gonna change the user's password. Let me quickly log into our database here so that you can see what I'm referring to. Alright, so we're gonna need the token code, and then we're gonna generate a random password which we're gonna send to the user via email. And then obviously we're gonna need the email to obviously make the changes that we need from the users table. So what we will do is we will change obviously this current password, right? It's gonna be, we're gonna remove this one and set it to a temporary password, right? That we're gonna generate, and then we're gonna set a token and code, just like how when we were verifying the user, we're gonna generate a token, a random token, then we're gonna set a random code, and then obviously we don't need to change anything else. It's just these three parts, right? And then we're obviously gonna use the email to make the correct changes. So here we're gonna say update users set token equal to whatever the token is going to be, and then we're going to say code equal to whatever the code is going to be. Make sure there's a space between the equal sign there and the colon, and then the password equal to whatever the password is going to be, right? And then where email equals to whatever the email the user passes in, right? Okay, so basically that's all we need: set token, code, password, email. Yeah, so that's what we need. We need also something else, if I'm not mistaken. One moment for me. So do we have, does email exist? Okay, so we can use this to see if the email does exist, so at least we have that method over there. Okay, let's see, what else do we need? I think that's all. Let's basically come in here and check in. Let's start with it. So let's start with the simple check. So we're gonna say oh right, sorry, we need to go into the service first, right? Okay, we have that. So let's do the method where we're gonna update the password. So remember, we have this method that we can check to see if the email exists, right? So here we can say string email. So remember, this method returns a string. Does the email exist? And then we will check to see if it is null or empty, right? So we can say we need to import the user service. So let's do that, and then obviously we're gonna auto wire it. Right, so here we can check to say let's change this user email so that we're clear. Actually, you know what, we don't need this one. So there's another thing we can do. We can check to see if the user is inserting a valid email, but like I said, we don't want to actually let the user know that they're doing the right thing. Otherwise, they can be persistent and try to find ways to breach the system. So this is fine. We're just checking to see if this email exists, and then if it does exist, then we're gonna proceed here now. Let me actually do this. Right, and then now we can proceed with changing the user password. I mean the user password. All right, so let's start with the password. Right, we're gonna call this random password. So how are we gonna generate this random password? We are gonna generate it using it with the generate.string helper. So remember, we have a static class within here that generates a random string, right? We have this method here, so that's how we're gonna generate that password. So we just have to say generate random string, so that will be the password. All right, and then the other thing we're gonna do is generate a random token, and then again we're gonna use the exact same method. Right, so we are using the exact same method to generate a random string, right? And then what else? We need to create a code, right? Right, and then here we'll just say, let's call this one random code, and then here will be the actual code, right? And then we're gonna call this object here. So I'm gonna do it the same way I did when we were registering our user. We're gonna say next int, and then we're just gonna say the bound is gonna be 100, and then we'll just say times 100, or we can actually do something like 1 2 3. All right, and then what do we need to do now? All right, so now we're gonna hash the password. So let me just type it out before. So we're gonna take this random password here that's being generated here, and then we're gonna pass that in random password, right? And then the salt is gonna be gen salt. Okay, and then now we're gonna update. So we're gonna say int. So we're gonna say user service dot forgot password. Then obviously we're gonna take in the token. Then we're gonna take in the code, which is going to be, I'm gonna use the string dot value of. Remember, this is being generated as an integer. So in here we are expecting a string. So we have to use string dot value of to convert that to a string. So that's gonna be our code. Hopefully I'm not wrong. And then what else do we need? Oh yeah, we need the hashed password. So remember, our password is, we're using the bcrypt object to hash our password, because when we log in, that's what we're basically using to when we log in, we're checking a hash version of the password. So we are hashing the generated password that's here, and then that's what we are storing within the database for the time being. So the user is gonna get the plain text password when we send the email, but um, but we are we are gonna store it as a hashed version of it in the database. So that's what we are gonna do. So what do we need? We need password. No, we already got the password. We need the email. Sorry, the user email. Right. So I think that's it in terms of updating the what you call it, the user's details. So now we're just gonna say if then if that's not correct, we're gonna send the user to the error page, right? What's the error? General. And then what would be the error? The error will just be something like something went wrong. What am I doing? I'm not supposed to do this here. Alright, let me just copy this. Obviously the view is gonna be error, and then here we're gonna say this is what I was trying to do earlier. Okay. Okay. What else? So now there's a couple of things we need to do here. Um, okay, so here we're gonna send the email notification and stuff, So again, we need to do another thing as well. So we need to go into the message helper, right? Which is what we have here, right? So remember, in here we had the verification. We had we we had a template in here when we were sending that we were using to send to the user when they register for an account. So we're gonna do a similar thing, but I'm just gonna come down here just after this one, right? Actually, let me do this. Right, so we're gonna say public okay. So before I continue, a couple of things I want to just double check. So this one is going to be slightly different, right? We're going to take in the token, and if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be the password, right? What else? I think it's also the code. Yeah, I think it's only those three. So now I'm gonna come back here, and then I should have done this slightly better, but I'm just gonna repeat myself for now. So I'll copy that link that we used in the verify account. So this is gonna be the URL, but obviously this is gonna change. So this is going to be change password. Now you'll see we're gonna use the same form when we're logged in, but we're gonna change the URL slightly, right? So this is the change password link, right? It's gonna take the token and code, and then what else? Now let's go to the template itself, right? So I have that as well designed. Where is it? Verify email. Do I have that? Let me just check this. So I have this. I don't know if I have that template. Let me just verify that I do change password. Okay. 10.FORGOT. I don't think I have it. You know what? You know what I think I did? I think what I did was I took this very same template and I just changed it slightly. Because when I check here, it's basically the same thing. The only difference is that I added an h3 class, and then the title was change password, and then so let's do this. I don't think I created a template for some reason. I don't know why, but I think what I did was I just took this particular one and just changed it slightly. Let me just double check. Alright, so let's do that, right? So I'm gonna take the verify account template and I'm gonna use it again. We're gonna use that one to send out an email, and then we're gonna change it slightly. So I'm gonna paste it there. Alright, so hopefully you can see. So I'm gonna say click below to change your password. Click below to, I'm gonna change verify to change your password. Alright, this will be the button, and then we need to add, there's something else we need to add here, right? on this part here where it says h1 class whatever, here I'm gonna say change password. Okay, and then what else do I need to do? So here it'll be this will be this part right here, the change password link. Let's see, should be the same. So here should be password. So I'm changing the wording of the button that's going to take us to the URL where we're going to change our password, right? Okay, and then what else? So here we just need to add somewhere where we can place in the password. Let me just double check how I did it the last time. I'm going to add a text, right? And I'm going to put a plus sign there. So you saw, hopefully you guys saw what I did. So I just basically, from that part here where it says change password, I just pressed enter, and then I put 2 double quotes. Then I have to put a plus sign there to concatenate. And then now I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna say h3, and then another closing h3 tag. Alright, so here we're gonna write here temporary password. Right, and then here we have to put in we have to say alright. Again, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. So here I'm just putting in a text to say your temporary password is, you put two quotation marks, you put 2 plus signs, and then you put in the password, right? So when this user receives the email, it's gonna come out like this, right? And then here it'll just say click below to change your password. Alright, my apologies guys, I thought I had the template. For some reason I didn't upload it on that repository there, so apologies for that. But I think we have everything except for the URL. So we're gonna say, okay, let me start again. So we're gonna come down here on the anchor tag, and then there where it says href, just after the first escaping what you call it, backslash, there's another quotation mark there. Just after that one, we're gonna put 2 plus signs. Sorry, not 2 plus signs. 2 quotation marks. What am I doing? And then 2 plus signs. And then from there we have to put in our URL. Okay. I think that should be it. And I think I did the correct thing there. Alright, so yeah, I think that's pretty much all that we need. I'm just making sure that we have everything. Just 1 second. back here on the forgot password controller. Okay, so here it's going to be alright, my apologies, there's one last thing I needed to do. I'm gonna come up here, all the way up here. Oh, actually down here. That's fine as well. Just gonna keep that short. So in here I'm gonna return a string now. So this particular string is gonna be, what did I do there? So here it's just gonna be a simple message, right? It's gonna say an email has been sent to the email address that you have provided. If the email exists, please wait. Actually, an email will be sent to the email address that you have provided. Yeah, that you have provided if it exists. Right, and then here we can say, please check your email and proceed with okay. Right, so let's come back to the forgot passwords, forgot password controller, right? And then there we're gonna say what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh yeah. So we're gonna need to say forgot. We need to get the forgot password mail message now. Right? Then we're gonna say we're gonna add the token. Then we need the code. And then remember, we're not getting the hash password, we need the actual password, the random, the what you call it, the plain text password. So we're gonna say random password, right? And then here we're gonna say mail messenger dot, right? Then we're just gonna say support. The email is gonna be from support at example.com, right? And then we're gonna send it to the user email, and then the subject is just gonna be change password, and then here we're gonna say change password email body. So we're just getting this part right here. We're just putting it all in one line and just passing it in here as the email body. This is gonna throw an exception, so we need to add the exception to the method signature. So we're gonna click that. All right, and then what else do we need? Okay. Alright, so remember we created this message right here, so we need to add that to the body as well. So here at the top I'm gonna say just after the what you call it, just after the, do I actually have to do it this way? Yeah. So here's what's happening. If all of this fails, right? Oh, by the way, my apologies. Remember we're doing a check here. So we're going to say if this is not empty, right? We need to check if this is not empty. So put an exclamation mark at the beginning of that. We're checking to see if this is not empty. If it is, proceed with changing the password. But remember, if it checks and this email doesn't exist, we need to send them to an error page, right? We're gonna say error. No, actually, we don't have to. We just have to say success, right? And then this dot page is equal to dot add object. So we're gonna say general message. We're gonna say success. Actually, no. No. One second for me. So there's an expression that we are expecting here within the scope. So here, instead of the, I don't believe we created the object for that. So we only have these ones. Okay, so let's just remove that. We're gonna say MSG, and then in here we're gonna say, so we're gonna go for this one that says the forgot password redirect message, right? Right, so this is the message. So remember, here we're gonna redirect to the success page. Alright, so here we're just gonna process the changing the password, setting the values that we need, and then here we're sending an email, and then down here we're just gonna redirect them back to the success page. And then basically on the success page, if you check here, the expression that we're expecting is MSG, or the request scope message that is called MSG. So here, that's what I'm setting up here. So here we're gonna send them, if we come back here to the message helper, we're gonna give them this message to say if the email exists, an email will be sent to the email that you provided if it exists, and then please check your email to change your password. And then hopefully, if we did everything right here, the user will get an email that's similar to what you're seeing here. They'll get a temporary password, and then they're gonna be redirected back to what you call it, back to a link where we will be changing the user's password, right? So we need to also change that form, but hopefully we did everything correct here. Let me close all of this, right? If we did everything correct here, that's what we should get. Now I need to come back into the forgot password page. So here on the form, remember we're processing it's a post method, and then we're gonna send him to this link, or this is gonna be the action link, right? And then the method is obviously gonna be post. Okay, so the input field is email, so hopefully we have everything that we need right there. Alright, so let's just run the application and see if what we were doing was correct. Apologies, I know I was bouncing around there, but hopefully you guys were able to follow. If not, just rewind the video or just reverse the video and then just pause and try to follow again. Alright, the application is running, so let me just refresh here. Alright, so again, we didn't do any validations here. We could do it, but if you want to, you can just do what we did here on the sign up page, or on the what you call it, the sign up page or the sign in page, where we just create a method to validate, oh my apologies, sign out, to validate if the user is inputting the correct type of email and all that stuff. So you can pretty much do what we did here on this very same form, but for this part I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to put in the email here. So john.doe at example.com. Alright, so I'm going to submit. Okay, there's an error. Let's see. Request email not present. Okay, did something wrong somewhere. Email is not present. Let's see. Okay, so I didn't provide the name email, so just make sure you change that. For some reason I didn't add it here, so I need to stop the server again. Then I'm gonna rerun. Okay, so we need to go back. Forgot password, johndoe at example.com. So now it looks like it's working because it's busy processing the email. So if you check here, message delivered successfully, so it looks like our message has been sent. Alright, so now we've been redirected to the sign up, this is the success page. And so as you can see here, it says here an email will be sent to the email address that you have provided. If it exists, please check your email and proceed with changing your password. So basically we got the message that we set up down here. Apologies for that. The message that we set up down here. Alright, so let's check and see if we did get that email. So if we did, alright, so we have it here. And the password, well, it's there, it's just I didn't change the text color. We will do that for now. Let's see, token and all of that. Alright, so we are fine with this. At least for now, we know that we are receiving the email and the template. It's just we just needed to change a couple of things. Alright, so the other thing I want to check is, if you come back here to our database, so as you can see, the token is null, the code is null. So let's just see if it did update. Now as you can see, that's the code, which is 700, and then that's the random token string. So now if you check here, the password is slightly different. So here it ends with whatever, I think that's Q, and then P, double QPG, and then as you can see down here it's VHI. So definitely the password has been changed. Alright, so just to verify, the code is 700, and then the random string starts with 6C193C20. So let's just double check and see if that's what we're getting. So if you check down here, when I hover over the button here, it's gonna show the URL link. So as you can see, the token string also starts with 6C 193 C20, and then the code is also 700. So it looks like everything is sorted there. Alright, so one other thing that we need to do, right? So I'm gonna create another controller. Now this one is gonna be slightly different, right? We're gonna create a controller that's gonna pretty much do two things of the same thing, right? So for now, I'm gonna stop the server. Alright, so here we're gonna create a controller. You know what? I think I'm gonna just separate them. I'm gonna create a change password controller. Alright, and then obviously we're gonna say @get mapping. And then this is gonna be called change password. Right, then alright. Okay, so what I want to do now is I need to create the page now. So in here I'm gonna come in and create a file, then I'm gonna call it right, that's the change password.jsp file. Let me just close off some of these. Close that off. Alright, so change password, we got the change password file. Now like I explained, this file we're gonna use it in two different ways. If let me run the application and then you'll see what I mean. Okay, the app is running. So before I go anywhere, I'm gonna click sign in, right? Now, let me sign in, right? Incorrect username and password. Ugh. Okay, we can't get into it. All right, so I was gonna show you, but let's forget about that for now. So if I click this link, it's supposed to take us to the change password page, but I didn't actually copy the template over. Hold on, my apologies for that. I'm gonna copy this. So I'm back in my GitHub repository. I'm coming here to this page called change password. Then I'm just gonna copy this template, and then I'm gonna come back here and quickly stop the server. Why is that happening? Alright, so as you know, we're gonna cut everything up until there where it says end of row. Just cut up until the div that says end of main container. Right. Let me just quickly come back here. I'm gonna copy the footer. Right. Then I'm gonna paste it there, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm here within the forgot password. I'm gonna copy everything from where it says notifications all the way to the JSTL call tag. Right. I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna come up here, and then everything from this part here where it says main container going up, I'm gonna delete and then paste in those stuff that we just copied. I'm gonna rerun this again. Okay, so let's quickly come back here, refresh the server, the application, I mean the page. Right, so oh yeah, we just need to click this link and let's see if we can access our page. Now as you can see, we are accessing our change password page, but we don't have our image. Let me see what the name of the image is. I'm gonna stop the server, and then this should be Undraw mobile login. Okay, let's change that to an I. Alright, Undraw mobile login. Let's copy that. I'm gonna paste it in there. Okay, so we have that. We will deal with this later. Alright, so um, okay, no, let's leave that for now. So we have, let's see, current, new password, confirm passwords, and then this form obviously is gonna go to changing the password, right? But for now, let's just run that server again. I just want to make sure that everything is up and running here. Okay, looks like we sorted here. So I'm gonna refresh. Alright, so now we have everything. Alright guys, so I'm gonna end the video here. It's already long enough. In the next part, which is gonna be part 3 of this whole change password thing, we're gonna work. We have to create a method to validate obviously our 3 forms. Our 3 fields. We need to make sure the user is inserting a correct a valid password, and then obviously we need to validate that the user, before when they click submit, they're inputting something here. Otherwise, there's no point in continuing. Alright, so I'm gonna end the video here, and then in the next part we're gonna work on validations, and then actually proceeding with processing the password change for the user, or for the user login. Alright, again, apologies. I know I was bouncing around quite a lot, but hopefully you guys were able to follow with what I was doing. Like I said, if not, just take the video back and then pause wherever you can and just try and follow along. And then again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys within the next video. Cheers for now.